Chinese balloon over Montana,
A balloon. It's a weather balloon.
and
Yeah.
Pentagon saying, yeah, China's trying to say it's like a civilian weather balloon or like a civilian data gathering thing that got blown off course and ended up in Montana. But it just happens to be that Montana is coincidentally like I think it's the uh, where most of the ICBMs that are within range of China are, but also like it's just a huge like I forget who was talking about it. It might have been Jack Posobiec on Timcast, uh, where he was mentioning like if a nuclear war broke out, where would you want to be? He's like Montana because that's where most of the warheads are. So like that's where they're all going to be firing from, where you get the most defense, and obviously they're defended, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it just accidentally wandered over that particular area of the
And
United
weird.
States.
Where'd you launch it from?
Well, that's
That's what I mean. Like that's a
point that I
long
wanted to
travel
get into.
from mainland China.
Yeah, it's not, it's not impossible to do, but
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, but okay, so you lose track of that balloon. How long did you lose track of it for? And it just happened to wander over
well, I mean
Montana.
that come on, it's obviously there on purpose.
Yeah, of course, that's what I
But
mean. But it's
but
like
what I
I'm stupid
wonder,
enough to believe it.
I wonder if it might have been launched from the ground, maybe in Canada. They say that they were tracking it through Canada,
Mm,
so like because we know that China is here.
yeah,
And
Trudeau's a big
they're in the
sympathizer.
states.
So,
Like they've infiltrated everything, so
mm-hmm.
they're around. So I wonder if they launched it from the ground, maybe at night, when low visibility, you don't got a lot of lights on there or anything. Send it up there and get it over to where they want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's some interesting points about this too. They say that China's getting very aggressive with Taiwan lately, like very aggressive. So it's almost like this is just they're testing the United States. They're probably A, trying to get data, but B, they're like, okay, well, we can't actually covertly get this data, so we're gonna do this kind of thing, and then we're gonna see what they do,
Mm-hmm.
what they tolerate, and how they respond to it, and what bullshit they'll accept as an excuse.
Let's be real. They've never. This is the most opportune time they're ever going to have.
Yeah,
They've never had a more sympathetic government in the West
yeah.
than they do right now. Right.
But a part of
So
this is just like it could very well be that they're trying to gather data on where things are,
yeah,
um, response times, what the certain actions, because maybe they're planning to do something soon. So it's just like fuck it, let's get some information so that we can be in the best position possible. In a month when we invade or do something.
Taiwan, you mean, or
Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what China's play would be with Taiwan right now because Biden said he wasn't going to do anything. At first, he said like he's been all
Biden
over.
said they would. The
They
White
said they
House said
would,
they
and the
wouldn't.
White House said they wouldn't.
Yeah.
So clearly, they're not because Biden's not in control. So they wouldn't if they wouldn't do anything about it. What's holding China back right now? Is it that they're mobilizing for war? Are they afraid that Taiwan might actually pose some type
Well,
of
I think it
military
is.
threat?
I think it is sort of unclear,
Yeah.
because the White House didn't say that they would do nothing. It was just the um, the matter of fact statement that they would. They didn't want that to be an official statement.
They could be waiting also for the Russia conflict to heat up a little more to cause distraction, kind of like they did with
Yeah,
COVID when they
yeah.
annexed Taiwan or Hong Kong. They just used COVID as a screen, right?
Yeah,
So that could be something as well.
yeah.
It's I don't know. It's scary to think. It's scary to think about the capabilities they have, and that they're quiet. They're not really saying much, which makes it
Yeah.
scarier. Makes it more
And they're doing stuff like this.
right. It's like it's a
You're
cold
getting
like the U.S. is in a cold war with China. I mean, they've been now for years now since Trump.
yeah.
So it's when cold wars start to heat up that you get scared, right? Like this is an incident that could escalate something.
Mhm.
I don't think it will with this government because I don't think they have the wherewithal or the motivation to do anything against China at this point. Like I think, yeah, I honestly don't know. Like
It's a
I
tough
say, I
one.
think I don't know what the play is because I don't know if the U.S.
It really
if the
just
whole
seems that we're just inching towards a global conflict.
it does.
Certain groups, maybe all of them, are trying to delay what's inevitable, but like I don't know that there's a way out. Right? Like
China might sit back and say, you know what, let's just let the fog of war settle, and then we'll step in and you know take over as the global currency. Is this and that? You
well,
know what I
they are
mean?
trying to do that,
Of course,
but
yeah,
they're in a basically collapsing right now, so they might not have much time to do much of anything. Xi Jinping said they're going to take Taiwan. Like that's one of his things for his administration. They're going to take back Taiwan.
hmm
So it feels like it's just a matter of time before they do that. That disrupts a lot of shit, and the United States probably has to step in. NATO probably has to step in. What does that do in the war in Ukraine, which NATO has already stepped in, which is basically just a hot war between NATO and Russia at this point, even though it's not really official.
right.
What happens there? Like, does that escalate? It keeps escalating, so maybe
Yeah,
it just rolls out of control, and then we
this
have a
is
global conflict.
this is the frog in the water, in the boiling water, right?
Yeah,
It's because it just keeps escalating, just slowly, slowly, slowly. We just keep allowing it. Yeah, and we obviously don't have an active. The U.S. doesn't have an active Congress to fight any of it. Like they're not. They're just money. Just seems to money's never been freer in the states at this point. The Pentagon can't even answer a $2 trillion deficit. So it's like it's monopoly money
just
at this
print more
point.
money. It
Yeah,
is monopoly money,
yeah.
which is also scary. Like maybe they're just robbing everyone, preparing for the World Economic Forum to take over, and then you know everyone's money's devalued. Doesn't matter if you have $10 million in the bank or $10 million
Yeah.
in assets. It's not going to be worth fuck all in 20 years.
This is quite a rabbit hole, eh? It's quite a rabbit hole we could
Yeah.
just you could just dive into with all this shit. There's so many players in it. It's very, very scary stuff. Um,